Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you guys here on the 29th, Monday, the 29th of June, 2020. Thank you for tuning in. Now, let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here and take a look at what's going on. First off, there's a 3,500-mile long, they're describing it as Godzilla-like dust cloud that's going to hit the United States southeast. They can see it from space, what effects is this dust going to have on our weather? I notice this is a particularly hot spring, for early. And we've had, here in Atlantic Canada, we've had 2 heat waves already with temperatures in the 90s, which is extremely unusual this early in the season. It's not really that unusual for us to get that in late August. But this time of year, no, it's very unusual. And other things going on. Just read the article here. It says former FDA chief warns half the population could catch coronavirus by year end. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'll tell you one thing about this coronavirus. I was reading an article last night about it, and they say that immunity doesn't last. There's a new study done, evidently, right? And it's not peer reviewed yet or anything. But it says that immunity might only last 4 months. It means you can catch it over and over again. You know what this thing reminds me of? On Trailer Park Boys, that little puppet that they have called Conky. He's an irritating. He's an irritating little son of a gun. Just about drives Julian and Ricky crazy. That's what this coronavirus reminds me of. It reminds me of Conky. Can't get rid of him either. Anyway, it's starting to look really nasty, the coronavirus, and we're going to have to wait and see exactly how much damage it does. It's slowly but surely taking down the world economy. That's what it's doing. And how far can the economy drift toward the abyss before it really starts to really dramatic things start to happen within the world economy? Tremendously dramatic things. In the first place, everybody runs when stuff like that happens, and they really get really scared. They run to gold and silver as a safe haven asset. So, and they're not going to want to buy the paper contracts, the SLV and GLD. They're going to want the real thing. And the mines out there are all not working and not functioning at hardly any capacity. There's going to be some awful shortage of mining supply this year. I can just see it coming. It's always a few months. What happens is there's always a little bit of a lag effect. Like the silver we're seeing coming in now is from back just before the virus hit, when they were still bringing it up out of the ground and everything. All of a sudden, like as we move in a few months into the future, we're going to see the effect of what happened a few months ago. That's the way in the gold and silver industry, because it has to actually be. A lot of people don't realize this. I mean, they go in and buy a silver coin. They don't realize that came out of the ground just a few months earlier, probably 6 months earlier. So there's like a 6-month lag there. They don't realize that. They think that the tooth fairy creates all the gold and silver coins. They don't realize it actually has to be mined out of the ground. And the demand's going up at the same time that we're going to hit this wall of no mining supply. I can just see it coming, a shortage. And so it's going to come at exactly the same time that people all want to get out of the dollar and get into a safe haven asset, and the gold and silver is all going to disappear. It's going to be like you cannot buy it. Period. The end. You can't buy it. And, when that hits, can you imagine what the price is going to go to when you can't buy it? And everybody wants it? Then there's going to be spillover money. They're going to have to... Okay, you get a guy, he's got, say, $1 million, and he wants his gold and silver, and he cannot buy any. He doesn't want ETFs. He wants the real thing, and he just cannot buy it. He's possibly going to think about crypto. because that's an alternative way out of the dollar. And so it's going to be a lot of spillover into the crypto from when when the real panic hits. I think there's going to be a tremendous spillover. Anyway, let's get in here and take a look at the silver price today. 1777. It's down 3 cents on the day. It's unbelievable because the real panic hasn't hit yet in the financial markets. They've been kind of staggering this whole thing along, but it's not going away. It's getting worse, and we're headed towards something gargantuan. That's what we're headed towards. Something gargantuan is coming. A monster is coming up out of the swamp. This system the financial system could absolutely fracture, and you could see movements, and I can't tell you exactly which way the movements will happen, but the stock market sure does look bloated to me. So one of the things we got to potentially watch for is the stock market itself. Oh, I didn't check gold price today. Gold price 1769, down $1.70. Let's take a look at crypto. Crypto's 258 billion market cap. Bitcoin dominance is 64.8%, and $9,096. So all of the avenues away from the dollar are all a little bit down today. Just fractionally down today. Isn't that weird? And the dollar is up. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones today. It's 392 points to the upside. With everything that's going on, 50 million Americans, mostly 50 million Americans out of work. That's gonna impact an awful lot more than 50 million people. It's just like the power company. They might say, well, 100 customers are without power. Yeah, but that's impacting a lot more than 100 people, because that's 100 households without power, and probably 4 or 5 people live in each household. Well, it's the same way when people lose their jobs. There's more people impacted. So we get 50 million people lose their jobs. Probably 100 million people are impacted by that. Or maybe more. Maybe 150 million people are impacted by that. In other words, half of the country. It's seismic, yet we're seeing the Dow Jones still creeping upwards. 25,407 today. Okay, let's take a look at crude oil. $39, and it's up today too, half a buck. You know what they get from a barrel of crude oil? 45-gallon drum of crude oil. They get 20 gallons of gasoline out of that, and about 12 gallons of diesel fuel out of it. All right? And they're only paying $39 for it. Well, how come the price is $2.50 at the pump? If they get all that out of one barrel, 20 gallons of gasoline and 12 gallons of diesel fuel, and they break it down to $2.50 a gallon, it's only $39 they're paying for it, and refining it can't cost that much. I mean, come on. And here in Canada, it's ridiculous. It's something like $5 a gallon or something, ridiculous. But I know what that is. Half of it's like in tax. And you know what these guys are doing up here in Canada? They have something called a TAL, called a thermally adjusted liter, right? So they adjust the liter in the middle of the summertime. They adjust the liter. And then what happens is in the wintertime comes, because they adjust it in the summertime, the gasoline shrinks in volume, right? And so how cold it is all year up here. So most of the year, they're actually selling you a little bit less than an actual liter, because it's what they're called a thermally adjusted liter. It's one of their tricks, along with the enormous taxes that they heap on it, that they say they're going to fix the potholes in the roads, and they never do nothing. Where does all that money go? Hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's just it's being pilfered, just like everything else. They're pilfering the system left and right, It's such a corrupt system, it's unbelievable. U.S. Treasuries today. We're looking at the long end rising, about 1 basis point, 2 basis points on the 10-year, 10 years at 0.64 and the U.S. 30 years at 1.38. The short end is falling on the yields, but only a half a basis point. So we're not getting a whole lot of movement on the treasuries. Dollar today, 97.48, and the dollar is rising. All of the rats are all grabbing hold of the board over there, like they're all crawling up on it to keep from drowning. They're all in the water, they're swimming, they're doggy paddling. All the rats are climbing up on the board. That's the dollar. And there's another piece of board over there, over the other side of the pond, that's still floating, but they're not going there. They've all crawled up on. When that board sinks, they're all going to swim for the other board, which is gold and silver. It's like they're all going to move at once. Mass migration. It's going to be once the dollar they start to actually see that the problems are not going to get solved, that it's going to go down the drain eventually. They're all going to come out at once. You know that, don't you? That's the way it's going to happen. It's going to be an all-at-once sort of thing. And it's going to be almost like a gymnasium full of people and somebody yells fire and they all try to get out through the one little door, exit door. Just a mad rush. That's what it's going to be when it finally happens. Nobody's going to sell when that happens. Would you really sell your gold and silver if you see it going up daily? Really up, like you've never seen before? Are you going to sell it for dollars? Or are you going to hang on to it and wait while it goes up until it goes up to where you don't know how high? It's going to be exciting, guys. It's going to really be exciting for people who have been waiting for years for this to happen. It's going to be exciting, and that's the way, you got to be patient. Listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.